All right, there you are, live on YouTube. How are you doing this morning? It's another early one. The steam you see coming across the camera is from this wonderful cup of coffee that I'm about to have the first sip of, and everything I can do to put some
All right,
warm
there you
liquids
are,
on.
live on
Oh, let me
YouTube.
get that off for you.
How are you doing this morning?
And it's everything I can do to get some warm liquids back on this throat here and give it some respite. Um, the training that I've been doing for the last 4 days has gone extremely well. I've had groups of 20, groups of 40. It is a presentation kind of standpoint, and then there's a shop aspect of hands-on training goes with it, and it's just been great because you know how I feel about doing things in a hands-on environment. Let me get some light on the matter here. There we go. And doing things in a hands-on environment, and it's been a lot of fun. Uh, if you've ever been in class with me before, I kind of like to goof off a little bit, have a little bit of fun, and just try and keep things light, get the job done, but really just kind of have a good time, mess around, teasing people about riding motorcycles or buying Lamborghinis and stuff like that, and it gets to be a hoot. Um, what's interesting is I've been thinking a lot about things like stuff that Andrew Eggleton would teach, right? Be your authentic self, own the pause in between the words, all these things that he drives home. And I think about the time I spent with Jake Valentine this year, and I think about all my John Maxwell training, and staying plugged into folks that I met way back in 2016 in that John Maxwell journey, to get to where I'm at. And I'm going to tell you, folks, in comparison to where others are on the team that were hired to do this training, because it's a big thing, the training 1,200 people in just over a week, right? So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving pieces here. But when I see the struggles that other folks have been having, getting up to speed, keeping track with things and moving forward, I feel really, really blessed to have put in the work ahead of time. You know what I mean? To be prepared, to all that stuff that I talk about with personal development and goal setting, and constantly building on yourself, looking at different leadership roles, looking at your role and how you add value to others and do things. you know Sometimes it sounds like hyperbole. Sometimes I can see people go, Curdy's all about that personal development stuff. That's not for me. I'm not into that. I pick it up as I go. I'm really bright that way. um, there's lots of ways that people phrase these things, but I'll be honest with you. Push comes to shove, and you got to get in front of a group of people with very limited prep time, and changing assets, being able to improvise on the fly. uh, Things change. Your lab's outside, no, now your lab's inside, no, oh, half your assets got taken, now you got to figure out how you're going to keep 40 people busy with enough assets for 10 people, right? And these aren't complaints. These are real world situations that happen all the time to trainers, right? Especially a contract trainer, because you're coming into someone else's work environment and you don't really have any control over it. And so I look at how I've been able to adapt class after class, day after day, and get the results that I'm getting, right? And uh, the other part's interesting is, on my resume that I've been sending out for 9 months, I'm not getting a bunch of calls, right? I really said, well, is it me? Is it the wording? Is it my experience? Is it this? Is it that? All these things, like what could possibly be? And then you get an opportunity under a contract to jump in and train 1,200 people. And all of a sudden people are like, oh my God, you can do this? I had no idea. I'm like, it's on the resume, but it's, seeing it, that tactile environment, right? That experience, that real time thing. So, now it's like the people that held the contract, they want to use me for more contracts. The people that contracted the contractor, they want to hire me direct. People that work in an out of town office are like, ask me, hey, do you like Texas? So it's apparent that this was a great experience for me to get myself out there and build some opportunity. And remember, I also have my own training company. So when people see me perform like this in person, and then they think, well, we could just hire him direct. He has his own training company. And so there are opportunities that are beginning to flesh out of this. And I've only been on this task for less than a week. Ding. And so it's been a lot of fun. It's been a hoot. But like I said, pay the dues, do the personal development, prepare yourself, because eventually the challenges come. You can take a look in my eyes and you can see the droop in my face because I haven't ridden the motorcycle to wake up yet this morning. I'm tired. It's been a long week. This is hard work, but the work is fun. It's challenging, and the results are super, super awesome. So for the students and for me, right? Because it's another episode to build another level of Kurt. And, that level goes into Mañana no Mas. It goes into the Power Sport Academy, and all of that comes full circle. And as I said in yesterday's live, when I think about the people that have connected with me, poured into me, supported me, Kurt, doing a great job. Don't give up. Keep doing the work. Keep pushing forward. Those words of affirmation, those inspirational statements, they do cause a person to continue to push forward and cause a person to continue to find success. And while success means a lot of different things at a lot of different times in life, this week has been a really good week because it's enabled me to get back in front of a group and back into my comfort zone of training and teaching. Now, when I think about Andrew Eggleton, I think about the training logistics I've been forced into, right? There's one classroom, it's a small class, 30 people, and man, I'm not stuck to the podium, right? The way that it's set up, I don't use a microphone in that room, and so I can mill around, I can walk around, I can be animated, and that's my sweet spot, man. I love that. I love just walking around, milling around, physical. Hey, how are you? It's COVID, so we can't high five people, so we're giving people virtual high fives, right? And but when I go to the big room is big. Like you wouldn't think, you'd be like, oh, what, Kurt? It's like 25% bigger. No, it's big. It's twice as big. It's this giant, huge room, and it's got four different screens to run the presentation on. You have to go through the presentation. It's a government body that has overseen this, and so got to make a good impression on the county. That's awesome. And so they're overseeing this, and so there's four presentations. There's a central microphone at a podium, and there's a little piece of me inside that dies when I have to use that setup, because I want to go, and get personal and make an impression with each person, not because it's about me, but because if you can make the experience more memorable and better for the student during the process, the retention level is going to go up, right? And so you make the experience better for everybody. And so I really wanted to get out there and hobnob with the folks. But when you're in the big room, you got to use the microphone, and that's stationary on the podium, and you got to walk people through the things. And then, of course, during the labs is where I get to act like an idiot and put things together, take things apart, demonstrate things, make jokes, and just have a good time. So I got to finish up today, right? And then we got next week, and then the elections after that. So folks, have a great weekend. I make these messages hopefully to be an inspiration to get you to push forward the next day. If you're new to the Mañana no Mas morning check-in, and you say, man, he's on early. Where's he at? Is he in Maine? No, I'm in California, and it's still dark outside. But I believe in getting up early, getting mobile, and finding something to be grateful for. And right now, I'm grateful for you. So if you've got an opportunity to follow one of our other properties, I know that you can always go to mañananomas.com, mañananomas.com, and sign in, follow us there, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. I'm everywhere. So have yourselves a great day, and I pray that you just have an awesome, awesome weekend. I've got a mentorship breakfast with my son tomorrow, and then I'll do a little bicycling. I haven't bicycled in a while, so I need to get out there and turn, get the legs going, get the body moving, and get my body to keep up with my brain from the week, if that makes sense. So have a good one. All right.